Hi everybody, Dr. Scott. I'm excited today to be joined by Taylor McGuire. I'm going to have her introduce herself in a minute, but we want to talk to you today, of course, about the most important thing that you can ever think about, which is your nervous system. You guys know that here at Thrive, and in my story, a lot of you may not know my story, the nervous system and the brain and everything from there down is just so crucial to your overall health. You cannot be healthy without a well-balanced, well-regulated nervous system. And if you don't know a little bit about my story, I grew up in athletics. I wanted to be a sports chiropractor dealing with sports injuries, and it kind of led into personal injury and work comp and basically pain management, which was satisfying and fulfilling to help people, right? That's all I ever wanted to do was help people. But when I started to dive into what neurological based chiropractic was, it really opened my eyes and changed my life and changed my world. Thanks to Dr. Brittany, my lovely wife, as well. And through that journey, what we realized is chiropractic is such a crucial, important part about balancing and regulating your nervous system. But what do you do in between those adjustments? What are other strategies that you can and need to, that we coach you guys on and talk to you about, need to incorporate in your life to truly reach that optimal health that you want? And that's why I'm bringing in Taylor. We truly believe in collaboration and teamwork. We can't and we don't know it all. We can't know it all. And so when we have people that we can refer to, that you guys can talk to and work with, that just makes it all the more successful for you. So with that being said, go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody and tell us a little bit about you.
Okay, my name's Taylor. I am from Lincoln, here in town. I'm a registered nurse. I've been a nurse for over 6 years now. My nursing career started in the emergency room, and then I moved, spent a couple of years in the operating room. And throughout that whole time, I actually got really sick myself. So I had very severe pain. It started shortly after I was working in the ER. Very bad headaches, jaw pain, back pain on a daily basis. So for about 2 or 3 years, I was in pain every single day. And I went through every single doctor. I tried every treatment. I was driving to Omaha multiple times a month to see neurologists and ENTs and the whole thing. And nothing really helped. I was taking like 7 or 8 different prescriptions for all my symptoms and was really just miserable and thought, there has to be something I'm missing here. And of course I'd been seeing a chiropractor throughout that whole time, but no one that was specifically nervous system focused, which is actually what I really needed. So then I discovered the whole world of alternative medicine and holistic healing and taking a whole body approach instead of the approach where your mind is here and your body is here and they're separate, which is really how conventional medicine views health. And that's just, it's not in everyone's best interest, because we can't ignore the fact that our minds and our mind and bodies are just so intricately connected and they work together. So I eventually healed from all my symptoms. Pretty much for the most part, I don't have those symptoms anymore unless I'm not doing the things that I know help. And I'm not staying consistent with all my things. And so once I healed as a nurse, going into the hospital, seeing how we were treating patients, I was not in alignment with that care model. I just knew we could be helping people way more if we were to actually dive deeper into the whole mind-body medicine aspect. So that led me to where I am today. I started my own practice last year, in the middle of last year, as a nurse coach. So I call myself a holistic wellness coach just because I really help all kinds of people with all kinds of symptoms. Again, because a lot of it comes down to the same root causes, and that root cause generally is the nervous system. So kind of like Dr. Scott talked about, going to the chiropractor and getting your physical body adjusted for nervous system to function properly is super important, but what are you doing in the in-between to keep it in alignment, to keep your nervous system regulated?
And this is where it becomes a lifestyle, right?
Yes,
it really is a
exactly.
lifestyle. You can't just expect us to do all the work for you. You can't expect someone like Taylor to do the work for you, or a nutritionist, or a physical therapist, a personal trainer. We're here to help and guide, right? And so that's what it's about. So I think you said something that I wanted to get your thoughts on. So I've always seen like the healthcare system, let's call it, because it really is kind of a sick care system more than healthcare system. But the healthcare system is really, it's amazing. The technology we have, the providers we have, medical, holistic, all of them. But it's just incomplete. It's like we have these things that are all separate, and we do our own things, these specialists, and people don't know where to go or who to turn to.
Yeah.
And if we can, and we don't communicate with each other. Right. So I guess, what's your experience with that, and what do you hope to do with your clients and patients?
So just from my own personal experience, like I said, when I was having my symptoms, I would go to one doctor and they would do a certain test or give me certain medication and then send me home. And then I was having gut problems, so then I go to a GI doctor, and then when my back started to hurt, I'd go to ortho. But the problem was all those symptoms were coming from the same root cause.
Exactly.
And no one was getting to that root cause, because no one was asking me about my stress. No one was asking me about my childhood or the environment I grew up in. No one was asking me about what I was doing to alleviate stress or to process emotions. And that actually was what was causing my symptoms. And I know for some people that's really odd when I say, hey, your emotions, your repressed emotions can actually be causing you physical symptoms. It's very hard for people to grasp. I know it was for me, being trained in conventional medicine.
I still think you're crazy. What do you mean? No, I'm kidding. It's so true. It's so true.
But like I said, I was able to heal using all these methods that I now help my clients utilize in their daily life. I was able to heal and get off all those meds and get rid of my pain and not suffer from all those symptoms anymore. Because I was able to get to the root.
That's awesome. Such a cool story for you personally. I have a similar story. I won't bore you with that today. But a question. So what, in your opinion, like, to me, we're kind of in the alternative holistic healthcare system, and I always have been. I've really seen a trend, it seems like, where medical people, nurses, nurse practitioners, physicians assistants, and medical doctors of all sorts really seem to be more and more trickling towards that side of learning more and wanting to dive into the holistic model a little bit more. Tell us what you think about that, and if that's true or not.
I think it's absolutely true. From my own personal experience, I've had so many conversations with especially nurses, but other healthcare workers that have either left conventional medicine or seeking an alternative career in medicine that's more holistic. And I think it's out of necessity, really, because if you look at the statistics of our health as a country, we are touted as like, oh, we have the best healthcare in the world, like this, we're amazing, but it's like we are the sickest. We rank so low on all these like chronic illnesses and diseases, mental health. I mean, you can just see kids nowadays are getting sick with all these illnesses that you didn't see until later in life, so much younger, and we have to ask why. And if you're in conventional medicine, you're not asking why. You're just going with the flow with what you were taught, which we can't blame the individual provider. And I always say that when I talk about conventional health versus holistic health, we cannot blame the individual provider, because they are doing what they feel is best, what they were taught. Right. It's just what they're being taught isn't this holistic model, which most people, I would say every person, needs.
I think what most of you, since you're probably watching this and you've probably been a part of our Thrive community, would already know this, but there may be others who don't know what we do here. I kind of put it like this too. Our medical system, healthcare, is amazing in the fact, but you got to think about your family practice doc where you go in, or the ER, or what all those they're there to put out fires, right? If you don't have a blazing inferno going on and you don't have that emergency care, what should you do to support your body, your natural immune system if you're sick or your kids are sick, your natural health? That is where our healthcare system has gone wrong. So that is nervous system health at the foundation. Yes, diet and nutrition. Yes, exercise and all those things, sleep. All of those things are so crucially important, but it's like that pyramid scheme where at the bottom of that pyramid is nervous system health, because it literally controls and regulates every other system in our body, right? You know
Absolutely.
That. Everybody should know that. So tell us, you've seen a shift in healthcare. So now let's get to, we've talked about in between your adjustments, or if someone's really struggling with stress and anxiety and just any really symptom pattern, they need to work on things on their own, right?
Absolutely.
So we're going to talk a little bit about, if you've been in our office, you've seen on the bulletin board this flyer here, and I'll hang it back up out there with a QR code on it. And that's going to send you directly to Taylor's link. She's got a group coaching program starting the 1st of February, and it's called Nervous System Reset. So exactly what most of you probably need is to learn more about that. So tell us a little bit about the program and what you're going to do.
Yeah, so a lot of my work with my clients has been surrounding nervous system. That just seems to always come up no matter what the symptoms someone's coming to me with, whether it be mental health, physical health, negative thought patterns, that can even be traced back to a dysregulated nervous system. So what I'm doing is a group coaching program. So as a wellness coach, I work one-on-one and then in groups. And my intention for this group is to just give you the basic tools that you need to, first of all, get your nervous system regulated. Because most people walking around right now are in a fight or flight mode. And I was for most of my life, my whole life probably, without knowing it. Right. So even if you're sitting at home like, no, I don't think I'm in fight or flight. I urge you to pause.
Dr. Brittany, if you're watching this, if you're watching this, you're amazing because you really opened my eyes. So I was one of those. I'm like, I told her, this was years ago, I'm like, I don't get stressed out. I'm like cool as a cucumber. I'm just like gonna roll with it. And like, as I've learned more, I'm like, I am like literally anxious all the time.
You just don't know it.
I'm stressed out. And then we started with our technology in our office, like the heart rate variability scan. I was as far sympathetic as you could probably get, and I was a disaster. So it's like, and walking around didn't even really realize it, right?
Because your conscious brain, that's all you know. That's your normal. Right. It's your subconscious brain, which I won't go into super detail because it's, I could talk about this forever, but it's our subconscious brains that are constantly worried, constantly anxious, constantly whatever it is. So with this group, I will give you the tools, but not only give you the tools, but support you in implementing. And that's where the coaching comes in, is having those weekly calls to do check-ins, to see how your week went, what went well, what was challenging, how are you doing with your homework, we call it, because we'll set, homework for you to work on. Just a few of the techniques, the top 3 I work with people is journaling, a specific type of therapeutic journaling, simple meditation breath work, and then EFT tapping. Those are the 3 like major ones that, first of all, help you process through emotions that you've never processed, whether that be childhood, teenagers, adult life. And once you get those processed, then how do I bring myself back down into a calm state and convince my brain that I'm safe? Because your brain just thinks you're constantly in danger all the time. And we have to remind it that, no, I am safe, I'm okay. And then when that happens, you will see all sorts of symptoms start to resolve. And I can say that because that's exactly what I've experienced and what a lot of people experience when they do this work.
I have a question. I'm going to surprise her with this one, so I apologize. I didn't tell you I was going to ask this. But it came to my mind because and I think you know this about our practice, is we want to see kids. It is so crucial to get this, even the nervous, all the stuff we're talking about today, on the right foot from the day that they're born. And if you guys haven't watched my talks, one is called The Perfect Storm on my YouTube channel, Raising Healthy Kids. You gotta watch those because the neurology of what can happen during pregnancy, during birth trauma, and how that sets our kids up for a road of difficulty is pretty fascinating, and it's science, it's not opinion. And so the question would be, do you work with kids? And if not, do you work with parents who might implement some strategies with their kids?
Yeah, I've gotten that question a few times. I've had people reach out to me like on Instagram, like, hey, you have these questions about my child, can you help me? And I don't work with kids directly, because I'm a huge advocate for the more you invest in your own health, the more you regulate your own nervous system, that will impact your child's nervous system.
100%, yes.
In multiple ways. From an energetic standpoint, I'm not going to get super into that piece of it, but just being in the same room, if your child is dysregulated, throwing a tantrum, having an issue, if you can stay calm and regulated in that moment, that's huge. Not being triggered as easily is a big one. Again, speaking from experience, I have an almost 2-year-old, so we're right in the thick of it. If I were to be parenting 3 or 4 years ago, there's absolutely no way I would be able to handle those situations with her in the same way I do now, and then therefore that would affect her brain development by my reactions.
Right. And I'm going to throw in there, I'll tell you what, we have a lot of families in our practice, mom, dad, kids all get adjusted, which is ideal because just like you said, mom and dad stress passes on to kids stress. We have a lot of families, actually, they know that our work helps the pediatric population so much, so their kids are getting adjusted. But hey, maybe you're watching this and you're the mom or the dad that brings your kid into us or someone like us, but you yourself aren't getting adjusted. Okay, rethink that. And just like she's saying, not only is it important for you, you have to take care of yourself first. Getting adjusted regularly, seeing someone and working with someone like Taylor, please do that because the effect that that will have on your kids is drastic. And we've seen it every day in our office. So.
Yeah, and then once you learn these techniques for yourself, you can start to implement them. I mean, even as young as my 2-year-old, we practice deep breaths.
Yeah.
I'll even do some tapping with her and she'll try to imitate me. So she's seeing it from a young age and I'm giving her these tools so that as she does grow, she knows how to use them.
Yeah.
And so she hopefully will never get to that extreme dysregulation that, I was in.
100%. I think that's what all of us as parents want. I mean, most of you guys know we have 3 kids, 8, 5, and 3. And that's all we want, right? We love our kids more than anything. We want to set them up for a better life, maybe than we even had. So we know more about the nervous system, the body, the systems of the body than we ever have before. And we're going to continue to learn, all of us. And so that's why this is so cool to get these relationships in our community of Lincoln together, where again, it takes a village sometimes, it takes a team to really get you guys on the right track. So with that, we can close this talk. It's been awesome. Do you have anything else you want to add?
I have a quote, and I'm not going to quote it exactly because I honestly don't know who said it, but I've seen it pop up several times that no one can do the healing work for you. Your body has to heal, but it doesn't mean you have to do it alone.
Yeah.
And in fact, I don't think it's possible to get to your ideal, I always say most vibrant, healthy, joy-filled self doing it alone. And so that's why I encourage people to build your team, build your support system, find those practitioners. There's so many healing modalities out there that I recommend. So it's just so important to find those people and get them on your team.
And I think that's one thing that we've always been, every time I give a talk or a presentation, I talk about this, is that we feel, Dr. Brittany, myself, Dr. Shelby, we feel like we're your guides. Yeah, we're going to help you with the part we specialize in, but you're going to need other things, and we want to guide you to the right people. And everybody's story isn't going to be the same. So that's really a passion of ours, and obviously a passion of Taylor's too. So thank you for joining me today.
Of course, thank you for having me.
You guys check her out. We're going to put links in the comments or direct links. I mean, social media.
I can't figure out.
Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, they're all different. So you'll find the links somewhere where you can go and access the information to her website and also her program, okay?
Yeah, and schedule your free consult. I do free consultations, so just to make sure it's the right fit for you. So
amazing. I'm glad she mentioned
schedule.
it. Yeah, free consult. Hit it up. All right, guys, take care. Bye-bye.